The second block that many of us have is the emotional block. Because the emotional is tied into psychology and the personal sense of being, or the essence of who you are. And the emotional psychology block, we as actors love. Like, we just love it. And their entire schools are devoted to it. It's like opening yourself up and talking to your mom, you forget your dad, and being the thing, and opening up a trauma in your life and finding your joys and celebrations. And I'm going to talk all about that. And in our weekend intensives, they become the exposition of your own personal material is so beautiful and so exceptional. And you can see people having these epiphanies where they're figuring out who they are in front of you. It's just so gorgeous. And there's also a very specific, I'll teach it, but a very specific process, methodology. It's not, it's actually how you work, it's how your brains work, to do it through imagery and experience. It's actually how you guys work. But I'll talk about that another time. But how to get yourselves into the emotional place. But a lot of people don't want to go there. And they're, if an actor's studying at this school because they want to go there, they're willing to go there. If there are actors who audit my classes and then, never see them again because it's just too scary for now. And then they come back usually. I had an actor, a well-known actor, who's was in town doing a movie, and he has to cry in his movie. But I gotta get less information than I usually do because we're on camera. And they call me to coach him, And when you're a famous actor, I charge a lot more. And so he comes to not this studio, it was the other studio, and he says, I don't even tell you his accent. I can't tell you his accent. But he says to me, I hear you can make anybody cry in 3 minutes. And I'm like kind of intimidated by the guy. And he's like, I don't cry. I haven't cried since 1965. I don't cry. I just don't do it. So you're wasting your time. He said, you're wasting your time. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Don't worry. This guy's like emotional block. So I'm like, that's cool. That's fine. I said, you know what? We'll just give you the money back. And I just enjoy to be around you, and it's really cool to talk to you. And I was reading about you online, and so you're a parent, hey? You have a daughter, and so I'm a dad too. And I started talking about my son, like, yeah. And then about a few minutes in, he's like talking about his daughter and stuff, and she goes to ballet, and then his hometown, which I can't say, but I'm like, oh fuck, is she there right now? Did you hear about the big accident on the highway? And then I started getting really upset, and I'm like, my daughter's fucking lying on the highway, and her tutu's full of blood, and you're here making a fucking piece of shit movie in Vancouver, you asshole. He's like, what? What? He's like up with his cell phone. I'm like, what? I get on your knees! He's like, I get on your knees and fucking apologize to your daughter, touch her tutu. And he goes, asshole! And he's like, it was like 11 minutes, but it was pretty good. If anybody says they're not emotional, it's just something they think. They block themselves up. It's just impossible. It's impossible not to be emotional. You are emotions incarnate. You have a potentiality of all emotionality at all times. You are walking vessels of emotionality, because emotion is not a static, stopped thing. It's a moving process. It lives in you. You're constantly, we're going to talk about this at infinitum when I do the talk on emotionality, but you're like, schizophrenic mom, dad went to jail, love my father, love my son, flip my car off a cliff, my wife, and the thing, and addictions and the thing, and all this stuff that I had. It's all inside me at all times. It's always going. And how you keep yourself sane is by, capping it all down so you can get through your day. But if my son opens that door behind me and goes, Papa, poof, love my son's going to come up, and you guys are going to disappear. Trust me, if my mom's name's Sylvia, if my mom Sylvia were to stand up at the back and say, how dare you talk about me? Pow, would I go to an emotional fucking place, fast. It's not like, I have to find it. I am it. I just need to release it. So we'll get to that. But people are afraid of it, and they're afraid of their own emotional power, so they shut down. So a lot of what we do in class is to pull that stuff out. Pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. And it's great, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. But sometimes they hang out there for too long. And there are, in my graduate class sometimes, there's stuff where I go, okay, that's enough, just fucking do it. You're ready, you got it. And at a certain point, you get better and better and better, and then you get the actors who are like, I say, so have you done your emotional preparation? They're like, yeah. And I go, well, just don't worry about your personal. What's the scene about? Well, she's a woman. You're like, okay, action. It's like, okay, this person's alive. They got it. They're fine. You know, and we can self-indulgently hang out in here and forget that the whole point of this is to tell a story, to be the conduits of story, to be the craftspeople that we are, to get the craft done.